Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon if you're here on the East Coast.
Okay. All right. Let's see what's happening here. Good, good morning if you're on the West Coast. Good afternoon if you're uh on the East Coast. And if you're in the Midwest, well, I don't know what to tell you. You're not here nor there. Oh, I hope everybody's doing good. Let me just turn on YouTube, let the room fill up for a few minutes. I'm here a little early today. I was telling Matt that I'm home alone. You know, my wife left me to go to Tampa to help my daughter out and other take care of other business, and I'm home alone. I'm like a little kid in a candy store. Don't know what to do with myself. Pete, hello there. Richard, Kevin, Positive Insight, Edward, Bill, Devin, Omar. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Got to be really careful. Real careful, Petro. Jill is in the house. Bob is in the house. Adam, All Point. All Point Surveyor. Oh my. Chris, J House, iPhone, Jeanette, how are you? Richard, how are you? Harold, how are you? Ronaldo, Brian. Brian says I have no audio. Brian, hopefully you have audio by now. You may want to refresh your browser. Steve is in here. We got David. We got Costas. We got Catherine. We got DJ Dave. How are you, DJ Dave? Where's my water? We got Kevin. Hey, Jill. We got Rainey, we got David, we got Michael, we got Bob. Hey, Bob. Javad, William, Catherine. 6 o'clock. Oh my goodness gracious! You need coffee. Hawaii, those Hawaii people. 6 hours back. Kevin, Mark, Jolene, Wade, Joel, Petro, Adam. Today's just one of I don't even know what's happening today. It's Monday. Monday, Monday. Uh, Glad you're here, Eagle Beagle. Hope you're feeling better. Hope your mom's feeling well. iPhone Dan. Hey, iPhone Dan. Nestor, Robert. Home Alone Part 4. Robert, Part 4. RCC Med. Ends today. All right. All right, RC Med. Sam, Jeremiah, Sergey, good morning. I love being whole. Oh yeah, well, yeah. Two of my dogs. The big ones are in the kennel for not kennel, in a babysitter for 2 days. She doesn't trust the big dogs with me and the little dogs. The little dogs and the cats I could do with. Mm. Petro, $1,000 on Alpha Zone Pro this morning. Did you get that one, Matt? You should get that one from Petro. 1203. That's a good one. I like that. I'm going to repost it here too. Actually, good job. Good job. We'll be starting in just literally in 2 minutes. Good. I'm glad, Adam. Robert is here. Ivano, Thomas, Gerald, how are you? Buck Roger, Uncle Buck, yeah. Mike, JD, Rosalia, how are you, Rosalia? Pamela, Avalon, Rachel, how are you? I have my daughter's name. Love Rachel. We need a Rachel and Michelle in here, and we're good. Mark, uh, Pam, Rachel, Linda, and Boca. How are you, Linda? How are you, Linda? Somebody was trying to describe to me the difference between Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach the other day. It was an interesting conversation. When you said Boca, it reminded me because you're right in that area right there. It's a very nice area. Wesley, Chris, Mike Cly, Reynold, Richard, how are you? Art, Claude, Steve. Hey, Steve. Chad, Scotty, Brendan, iPhone, Brian, Sherman, admin. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. So glad you guys are here. I'm going to give you guys a very, very cool lesson. So, I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say, okay? And hello for everybody on YouTube. And Matt, you can post a link in the YouTube channel. For the next 45 minutes to an hour, I'll be teaching you a summarized version of the Pro Trader Dashboard not the Pro Trader Dashboard, the full-time trading boot camp. I'm going to give you a summarized version of that, like a real capsule summary. Then I'm going to have a webinar that lays out everything I'm going to teach you right now in a more organized form. Okay. So we're gonna have a busy 2 hours ahead of us. But I think by the end of this time, you will appreciate, and I promise you, what I'm going to teach you is not something you will learn in most other places. Okay. So you're in a good place and you're in good company. So the first thing I want to do, let me just pull up I'm going to be going back and forth between TC 2000 and bar chart for several reasons. My suggestion, if you're not in the Zoom room, you're on YouTube, to make your way, hey, Vladimir, to make your way into the Zoom room. Let me just share my screen here. Screen. Notice, Matt, no issues with the mic and the screen since we haven't had the storms.
Yep.
As soon as
That's true.
Right? As soon as the storms, we get these power outages here. The lightning, it's amazing, guys. Like when we get storms here, they're full on like lightning, and it's like out of a movie. They're nothing like that in California, Matt.
Really?
Oh, the lightning is nothing like that. Are you kidding me? Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Not even close. Now the weather's obviously completely different, but it's raw here. It's like comparing a little puppy with like a wolf, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like it in Los Angeles. Okay, so I want to teach you guys something important, okay? And again, everything I'm going through right now, I'm going to repeat again in about 45 minutes in a much more organized way with pictures and graphics and demonstrations. And trust me, you'd want to hear this. I haven't done this in a long time. It's a Monday. I'm well rested. I promise you, you want to hear this, okay? You want to hear this. So, what are VWAPs? First off, what is a VWAP? Well, a VWAP, which I'll just show you, it's kind of hidden here by the chart. The chart's not doing anything. I'll just look at the SPY. You could see right now, this is the VWAP right here. See this orange line? This is the VWAP right here. And the VWAP calculates, it's like a moving average that starts at the beginning of the day, and it calculates how much volume or where the buyers and where the sellers took place, and calculates the average price on the day, including volume. And that's the biggest problem, that a lot of your indicators, like these are the moving averages right here. That's the 15 and the 8 on a 5-minute, which I really don't use very much. I mean, they're okay for trailing stops, but again, they're not. I use my eyes. But again, just to give you guys some context, this really tells you what the average price based on volume on the day is, okay? And it's a really good indicator because we could use it to key off price. Like right now we're short. The SPY in Trading Zone Live, and we keyed off. We went a little early, but we keyed off of the VWAP, and right now we're short. So we use it all the time for stocks to look for bounces, for pullbacks. The VWAP is a great indicator. Moreover, do you guys remember during COVID? You may or may not remember, but I'll give you the whole story. During COVID, okay, they did Senate hearings because people were staying at home and they were trading and they were making money instead of going to work during COVID. And a lot of them were doing it with government money. That's when we got in trouble with the FTC because the FTC thought that we were targeting older people, which we absolutely were not doing. None of our ads have older people in them. We don't have any retirement. Like there's nothing about what we do that targets older people. It just happens to be that a lot of our clients are older people, but the government always gets it right? Okay, we're not going to get into that. The point I'm making is this: is that when COVID happened and all of this whole thing, GameStop run up happened, and a lot of people were making and losing money. and governments got really nervous about it, and they had Senate hearings. Now, why am I talking about Senate hearings, and what the hell does it have to do with the VWAP? I'm about to explain. And again, in about 40 minutes, all I'm going to show you pictures, proof, documentation, my blood, signatures, and stone. I'm just kidding around, but I'm going to show you. So if you're not getting all of this the first time, trust me, you'll get it the second time. So Ken Griffith, okay, Ken Griffith, who runs the largest hedge fund, one of the largest hedge funds, and the largest market maker in the world. So why should you be paying attention like now, like this, to what I say? Because he takes 1/3 of your trades against you. Every 33% of all of your trades, you're taking against him, or he's taking against you. If you're taking a long, he's taking a short against you. If you're taking a short, now he's a billionaire, and he sent all his employees to Disneyland every year for 3 days and closes the park out. Do you do that with your family? No. So he probably has more money than you. So the odds are he's taking your money from you. He said virtually every trade we do is based on the VWAP. I know you don't believe me, but I'll show you. I'll show it to you. I'll show you the proof. I'm going to show it to you in about 40 minutes. So we didn't need for him to tell us that, because professional traders have been using VWAP for the last 10 years. But after he said it, it became, because, you can't lie to Senate. That was in court. That was he can bullshit he can bullshit me all he wants, or tell Twitter whatever he wants. You can't go to Congress and lie. You can go to prison. And I'm not suggesting he had any reason to, but he just kind of made a very, like, oh, by the way, all of our orders are done off of the VWAP. What? Really? Very interesting. So let me get this straight. You're responsible for giving me a third for 33% of trades that I take. You're responsible for taking the opposite side, and you're making money on me, and you're trading against the V. Maybe I should trade using the VWAP. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of explain to you what this VWAP was and how we use it. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. What? What the hell you teased me with all this for? Don't worry, we're gonna get to the anchored VWAP. So what is the anchored VWAP? The anchored VWAP, if setting logic says, if setting price at the moment the market opens and using an average with price is good, then maybe we should be setting the same thing using daily data on important days, like, for example, when stocks have earnings, or they have high volume bars, or they make the biggest swing of the day, like days like this. So, or days like this, where you have gaps like this, or maybe beginning of the year, or something like that. Gee, maybe it makes sense. Well, it does. So what Uncle Roger does, and I have it here every morning, and I show you how I use it. If you go to any ticker symbol on my chart, you will see that I have several VWAPs. I have the beginning of the year VWAP. I have beginning of the, actually, you know what? We don't really need this one anymore. Yeah, we don't need this one anymore. We have the beginning of the year and quadruple witching. Okay, quadruple witching. So here's a misnomer, okay? I'm going to explain this to you too. And again, everything I'm going to explain right now, I'm going to explain in more depth in a bit. So we're just getting into this. So first of the year and beginning of the quarter, but I don't do beginning of the quarter. What I prefer to do is quad witching, okay? So you could type in the dates right here. Oh, I know why 441 is on there. It was a big day or something. It was a see, quad witching days, and it's right here. It's the here. Yeah, right here. Quad days right here. It's only 4 times a year, and every year they're different, but here they are. So you could see right here, see 6/20, see June 20th. The next one is going to be September 19th. Liberation Day. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate that. Yeah, I knew there was a reason why I had it. So, so in a nut, I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know who got liberated that day, but anyway. So you could see right here, and I show this to you every morning. This is my morning charts that we use. So you can see beginning of the year and then quad. Now, why use quad? Quad is great because you're getting the option expiration day, which is also the end of the last option expiration at the end of the quarter. So you're getting I don't know, but no comment. So you're getting the end of the quarter and you're getting the effect of the options all in one. And I promise you the difference between 620 and 7-1 isn't going to be all that different unless something drastically happens. So I like to use major events, beginning of the year and end of the quarter, beginning of new quarter, but end of the quarter is better because you could do quad witching and end of the quarter at the same time. Now, that's on the indexes, okay? That's on the indexes and stocks. But I'll be honest with you. The one I like the most on stocks, and I do look at all of them on stocks, but the one I like the most on stocks is, and this is what we're going to be talking about in about 30 minutes, is what I like to see is I like to see the 90-day high or the latest swing high and the latest swing low. So for example, here, whoops, right there. You could do this. You could do this in right here. Or it doesn't have to be 90 days, but the last swing low and the last swing high, and that's D's. And what they'll do is they create a range right here for us. They create a channel and they create real key levels, especially if we're still in that channel. Here we already broke out. See, if I drew this earlier, you would have had a nice breakout right here. I should have prepared better, but let me see if I could find. No, that's not going to work. Let me find the stock. How about IBM? So let's go right there. We already have you can already see what I'm scheming here. And right here. So you could see support and resistance right here from the top and from the bottom. And what happens, these VWAPs, as price gets closer, it begin here, like I'll show you right here. So here's a swing high. And here's a swing low. And what will happen is price will go into these bands and then come out again. And when they come out, that means there's an equilibrium in price, which is really, really keep an eye on the position, Matt. Yeah. Point is, so we use these VWAPs. So how do we use these VWAPs? Let me explain. We use these VWAPs very similarly to how we use moving averages. So again, I just wanted to show you how we use the high and low. So for indexes, for all the indexes like Dow Jones, Fed could probably push it up by lowering rates, but nothing else is going to do except maybe exceptional earnings tomorrow. Boyd, you're like a parakeet. Did you not hear this morning where like 100 people told you we can't lower rates? We're going to get inflation again. We already have inflation. We're going to have more inflation. We can't do it. I keep telling you the same thing over and over again. The guy doesn't want to listen. All right. Anyways, let's continue. It's just real simple economics. Okay. So you could see right here, look at this. See how we came up right to the VWAP right there? Very, 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 very important. Right up to that June 20th VWAP. We came right up there. I mean, right down there, excuse me. So you know how sometimes we use the 8-day EMA as pullbacks? VWAPs work, anchored VWAPs work just as well. They work actually better, okay? And I'll tell you why they work better. Because a VWAP is actually based on volume, not just the price level. See, I want to explain something to you. please, Boyd, please stop telling. Please, I'm begging you, Boyd. I don't want to get into political discussions regarding. I just don't want to do it. I don't have the energy for that right now. I'm too focused. Your facts are very, very different than the facts that I learned while I was in school, and the facts that I learned from working with with the guy who's this close to taking over Powell's job. Please, and the guy who teaches economics in Columbia University for 40 years. Your facts and the fact that please let's just stop this. Let's cut the nonsense out, okay? Please let me just teach. Okay. So the VWAP works very well. Now I want to give you guys a little tidbit, and I've mentioned this before. One of the reasons why I like Microsoft, yes. One of the biggest reasons why I like to use the 8-day EMA, and I can't prove this, but I'm going to tell you, I don't have proof, and one of the things about me, if I can't prove something, I generally do not like if it's not something that's a fact, I don't have a lot of opinions. I really don't. You may think I have a lot of opinions, but I really don't have a lot of opinions. And opinions to me are like, you know what, everybody's got one. I like facts. For example, if you take any of the concepts I teach you and you go to a regular technical analysis book, it'll confirm everything I'm telling you. I'm not going against any kind of flow or traffic or of any kind. What I'm doing, the only difference between what I do with these facts is I put them into context. That's what most of these gurus can't do. It's not about one part coming together. It's about everything coming together. But let me explain further here, okay? Let me explain. The 8-day moving average, and this is actually right on topic. Laura says, Roger, there are about a dozen people on YouTube. No pick. Yeah, there's YouTube pick. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm looking at it right now. There's 66 people on YouTube right now. Not 12, 66 actually. Here's a link to the channel if you're looking for it. Right here. I'll just post it for you. Now, my suggestion is to come from YouTube into the Zoom, because in about 20 minutes, I'm going to give you guys a class. And I'm going to take everything I'm talking about right now. I'm going to put it in a very concise package and make it cohesive. Right now I'm teaching, but I'm going to present. So look at Microsoft. And I've been using this, as an example for several weeks now, because it's been just grinding up the 8-day EMA, except for these 2 days. It's just grinding up. Here's what I believe, okay? The reason I believe... good. I'm glad to hear that, Brent. Very, very good. I believe one of the reasons, now folks, I can't prove this. So I'm telling you right away, I can't prove this. This is a theory I have, okay? A theory, just a theory, but it's a very strong theory. I believe that there are VWAPs sitting right at the 1 week lows on these stocks. And I'll tell you why I see that. Because notice how when it gets to the 5-day low, look, okay, I got to start. Let me start from scratch. I don't want to confuse you. Okay. I use the 8-day EMA. The 8-day EMA and the 5-day MA are virtually identical. Okay. So follow along my logic so you understand how I came up with this, okay? Please, because otherwise it'll be like, what the hell is he talking about? So I used this. We're only talking about daily data right now, okay? Daily, not intraday, not 5-minute charts, daily data. So if you look here, you'll see that just pretend this is a 5-day moving average and pretend that it's a 5-day moving average on the lows. If that was the case, this would hit it 9 out of 10 times. So I believe they're setting VWAPs, anchored VWAPs. Institutions are setting VWAPs on fast moving stocks like this near the 5-day lows. And we just happen to catch them because we're using the 8-day EMA, which happens to pretty much catch the same thing. So my theory is that institutions, large institutions, have their VWAPs set at the 5-day low on large cap stocks like this because look at how well it bounces off. Look at price, how well it bounces from here. So I believe that we're just looking at an invisible VWAP that institutions are selling because we don't know where they're setting their VWAP. But I'm telling you that based on my eyes, I'm if I was putting my money on the line, I would say they're putting a VWAP at the 5-day low. Okay, and I think that's one of the reasons why the 8-day moving average, exponential moving average, or the 5-day simple moving average, why it works so well, why stocks bounce off of it. Not because it has any kind of secret meaning. I think they're setting VWAPs. I think they're setting V. I'm telling you. I mean, again, I can't prove this. It'll come out one of these days, but I have a feeling they're setting VWAPs at the 5-day lows, at the 1 week lows. And why does the 5-day moving average use so much? Because it's a 5-week moving average. Because you want to know if price is above or below the 5-day moving average, and again, the 8-day moving average, the EMA, tends to be just a little faster 5-day MA. For example, if you put the 5-day MA next to the 8-day EMA, they will be mimicking each other. Trust me, I've done it many, many times before. And the 15-day EMA tracks the 10-day MA. So what we're doing here in essence is buying stocks that are trading above the 1-week high and liquidating stocks that are selling below the 2-week low, which makes sense because we're momentum traders. And momentum is buying when something is above a 1-week high, at least, and selling. Why would you want it if it's below the 2-week low? So again, I'm just trying to give you guys a little insight of how institutions drive price and color price action by using these anchored VWAPs and these VWAP indicators. Okay, and again, look here. See how it can't bounce here. Let me show you. See how well it bounced right off of that VWAP. That's the I believe that's the that's the quad witching VWAP right here. It happens all the time. So that's why you have the 8-day, 15-day, and then the VWAP, and you'll see that a lot of times it'll. Thank you, Candy. I'm not selling the 8-day EMA. I'm just telling you I've noticed. Well, Costas, your question was answered. Your question, I knew you were going to ask. I knew that you were going to ask me that question. Let me first write your question up, and then my answer to you is your question was answered about 19 minutes ago. So instead of me repeating, I think you can go back and watch the video, and your question will be answered. I answered your question for about 5 minutes. Okay, I explained that on an intraday VWAP, there are no settings. The VWAP starts at the beginning of the day, and I explained that anchored VWAPs are not VWAPs. Call them anchored VWAPs. Otherwise, I will think you're talking about intraday price action. Call them anchored because you're actually anchored them to a price point. So your question is where we anchor the VWAPs, and I explained that in great details here. And not only did I explain it in great detail, I explained why I put it there. Can anybody say I did not do so? Did I explain it? Beginning of the year, quarter, or end of quarter, beginning of the quarter, or as I like to do it, and I actually gave you the dates right here, quad dates right here. So I did. I actually was very detailed on that. And then I explained that on stocks, I also like to go to the recent high and low. And when we do our class in about 15 minutes, I'm going to show you some examples of that. That's called a compression based on VWAPs, which is much, much more powerful than a compression that's based on something like the Keltner channel. Because the Keltner channel does not use volume. This actually uses volume. So let me do this. Now that you have all this information, why don't I take bar chart and take you through a list of all of my hot stocks that I'm watching right now. And we could see where they are in relationship to the anchored VWAPs. How does that sound? Does that sound like a good idea? That way you get my list of stocks and you get to see how the VWAP looks in comparison to them. Can I do that? Does everybody like that idea? So that way we can learn and earn. Okay? Yeah, those are the quad witching dates. Okay, so let's do that. That way you can kind of, instead of being all hypothetical, I'm watching the show, Matt, right now.
Uh-huh.
It's called BMF, Black Mafia Family.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm telling you, it's the Sopranos. It's the African American Sopranos. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's based on a true story. It's on Epic, not Epic. It's on I don't remember one of those channels. Stars, I think Stars. I'm addicted. I can't wait for next week's episode. I watched all 3.5 seasons. Addicted to this show. Okay, let me it's called BMFHG, and there's a documentary on it too. So I'm watching the documentary till the show comes back on. BMF. BMF. It is something. It is something. What a story. Man, what a story. Whew. True story too. Okay. Let me give you the goodies here. I saw that. I saw that I saw that on the way back from Europe, the last season, Our King. I love those shows, man. I love it. I understand the explanation, but doesn't the AVWAP have to be anchored? That's what I said, anchored. That's what I yes, anchored, exactly. That's what I said. We anchor our VWAPs. We anchored our VWAPs. And then what I said about the 5 day is I said I suspect that institutions anchor their VWAP to a 5 day low. That's what I said. Specific time is not a 5 day low. No, on a daily, we just use the you just go to daily. Look. No, Tom, let me explain. Here's the question Tom is at. It's a good question. It's a good question here. No, when I say time, I mean day. So look, let me show you. For example, here's TC 2000. So here's a VWAP right here. See, go to a date. Now, if I want to, I could tweak with it and I could play with it. Every platform has a different way to anchor it. You just move it in my platform. You just move it to wherever I want, the day I want it. So most platforms have a setting. Do you take the day and you divide it by 3? Do you divide it by 4? In this case, you just divide the day by 4. Open, high, low, close. And it anchors it right there. Okay. Let's not get too technical, Tom. Okay. Not clear how to anchor. Look here. Let me show you, Rich. I click my left button. I drag it on the chart and I let it go. But boom, that's how I did it. Now you know how to anchor. Congratulations. See, I put it on the date. I just gave you I just showed you how to do 3 VWAPs. Every platform is different. Now, you don't expect me to do a demonstration on 30 different platforms. So now you understand, Tom? You anchor it to it just goes on the close. But obviously, I could tweak my anchors to anything I want. And if I wanted to, I could tweak her. Here, look. Here, Tom. I know that's the kind of question I would ask. So here, you want to get down to the nitty gritty? All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Here's bar chart, right? Let's put on Microsoft here, guys. This is okay. I don't mind doing this. This is definitely definitely in the realm of what we're talking about. So anchored VWAPs right here. Look at that. Happens to be the second one right there. Okay. You see the source? Open, high, low, close. So those frisky alligators they put it on low, right? And then they put the date here. They put it on the dates, but they put them on the low, and they go 5 days back. It's if I could do it on a free bar chart program, don't you think they could do it? See that? See how I could anchor it to anything I want? And I usually go right here, or right here, excuse me. And it just goes to daily data. So again, don't get nitpicky with me, but yeah, it's a good question. That's how it's done. So now you guys know exactly how I do it, why I do it, and you see. So my theory is that these turkeys, they have it anchored at a 5-day low because look at how they hit the 5-day low all the time. That's all I'm saying. It's just a theory I have. You don't have to believe it or not. You don't have to. Snowfall is fantastic. I love Snowfall, except the ending. The last episode was retarded. Okay, let's. I love the entire show except for the last episode. I wanted him to come out on top, Malik. I wanted him to come out on top. All right, all right. So you could see how you set it, and again, you would just go to VWAP. You would go to Anchor VWAP. You would go to right here, open, high, low, close, divided by 4, and then here's your dates right here. See the date 620. So you could see right here where all my anchored VWAPs are. Beginning of the year, excuse me, high, low, close, close, the last one, not the third one, the last one. High, low, close, divided by 4. That's the one I use. And you could see right here, and you could see right here. You could see all my dates right here. And this is Liberation Day, beginning of the year. And here's quad witching. And as again, usually I don't really look at stocks too much here. I usually look at indexes here in the morning. I usually look at TC2000 that has this easy anchor for the stocks. And then when I'm looking at the stocks, once I circle the ones I want right here, what I do here is I start at bar chart, and then I'll take this and I'll put it at the highest swing high. Now, the class I'm going to have in about 15 minutes will break all this down for you really, really very, very. I know, Peter. I know I'm using weighted close. I know. I'm telling you what I suspect the hedge funds are doing, guys, and why the 8-day. I'm okay. My whole tangent and the whole speech on the 5-day and the lows. All I was trying to say was I have a theory that the 8-day EMA works so well is because the hedge funds are using the 5-day low anchored VWAP. That's all I was trying to say. I can't prove it because that guy's the manager's not in this room. But if he was here, I would ask him, and he would probably tell me that. Yes, Isaac, it will be recorded. And again, if what I was saying right now was a little jaggedy, what I'm going to talk about next, it'll be very concrete. It was written by copywriter, explaining what I'm trying to explain right now, but in a more ABCDE approach. So that's what I was trying to say. So what I would do here is, after I've already looked at the chart on bar chart, and I've decided if it's good or not based on all these anchors that I have here, then I would just simply go to bar chart, excuse me, TC2000. This is where I really get into the stock. And I would say, okay, where's the last swing high? I would put a VWAP right there. Let's see how it would do. Then I could play around with the last swing high or lows and kind of see what happens there. And you could see we're a little far away, but put one right here. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that right now. There's nothing here. So let's go through the stocks, okay? Let's go through the stocks, and I will use bar charts. So this is already laid out here nicely for us. I'll first go through the shorts, and then I'll go through the longs, as I usually do, okay? Let's see. We got 600 people here. We got 80 people here. We're doing pretty good. In the morning show, Matt, we're breaking records. We're over 650 every day now.
Wow.
Like a year ago,
That's
in the
awesome.
summer, we were at like 500. What?
That's awesome.
Yeah. That means in the fall, a lot of people are not. A lot of people are not on a holiday right now. So, okay, right here we're below all the VWAPs. Look, we broke all the VWAPs, and we're below the moving averages. And folks, moving averages and VWAPs have, like, the 200 versus the VWAP. They have just about the same power. We started the morning show with the 200. That's right. Always. 669. Oh, Bob. Yeah, and look, Matt, we got 352 thumbs up. We usually are hard pressed to get 300. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob and Dr. Serena. Great. Malik says, yeah, I agree on the last episode of Snowfall. Yeah, I that's the reason why I don't want to watch the show again. That last episode rubbed me the wrong way. All right. So we're below the 200-day moving average. Okay. We broke everything. The stock looks like a good short, actually. Now, remember, I'm not looking at it intraday right now because intraday means very little to me. It has to mean a lot to me on a daily. We're below all the averages, and we're below the VWAPs. See the VWAPs? The dotted lines are the VWAPs. The small lines are the 8-day and the 15-day EMA. The big lines are the 50, the 100, and the 200. And the dotted lines are the 3 anchored VWAPs, okay? That's on my list. Petro, it's on my list. Give me a minute. He's talking about, it says Caterpillar looks good. It's on my list. Let me do the short. So FMX, CB. See how we broke? See how it's mimicking the 200? See, look how this one's mimicking the 50-day. I'm telling you, these things are a gold mine to have. If you're not using anchored VWAPs and VWAPs, you're not following institutions. And just so you know, all I do is follow institutions. That's my entire job in life, is to follow institutions. Okay. Breaking down nicely. Chubb. See below all the VWAPs. And we haven't even got into the pinches yet. I'm going to get into the pinches in the demonstration. Below the anchored VWAPs. Look how it uses the anchored VWAPs as support. Look at that. Right here. Comes literally right down to the dot. Right here comes down right to the dot. These anchored VWAPs are very, very valuable. And they don't cost anything. They're free. That's not trying to sell you anything. RGLD. This is interesting because you got a gold making swing highs, and this gold is breaking down. Now, I love scenarios like that. When gold is going up, as it is right now, or say semiconductors are going up, and every semiconductor stock is going up, it's very difficult to find the right one. Because institutions are not buying one of them. They're buying SMH. And they're causing all of them to go up at once. I'm using this as a demonstration. Similarly with gold. Why is this gold? If gold is making swing highs or near all-time highs, and this company's breaking down, we know for sure institutions are selling this right now. So, and the fact that it's breaking the 200-day moving average is a no-brainer. So, but besides the point, notice how it's below all the VWAPs. I say VWAPs, but it's anchored VWAPs. Anchored VWAPs. Okay. Another stock on my short list. Michael says, are you placing multiple VWAPs? Because I'll explain to you why, Michael. Because every price, every anchored VWAP is at a significant level. Beginning of the year, do you want to know if a stock is trading above or below the average weighted price compared to the beginning of the year? I do. That's as good as the 200-day moving average for me. If a stock is trading above the average price for the year, I'm not going to short that stock. Okay? So let me continue with this. I don't know, Ruth, but I know you can get them for free. I know you can get them pretty much everywhere I use, so I don't know. So I'm not giving you, Patrick, I'm not talking about trading RGLD. I'm just giving you some stocks to look at. Anchored to 5-day, and what are the others? You'll have to be a rat. Let's continue. Let's continue, please. There's a thing called a pause and a replay on YouTube, where we have 80 people now, and we have 605. I'm not going back. I'm going forwards. You can rewatch this in real time. Tell Deanna to put this in the Quick Strike members area, Matt. The first hour of the VIP room, to put it in the Quick Strike members area. This will be put in the Quick Strike members area, this video, okay? Okay. So what was I talking about? I was talking about something. I'm always talking about something. I don't want to lose my train of thought. What was I saying? Anyway, so this stock is something I would definitely look at, and I'm going to look at it when I get off today. David, wait till you see the session. Oh, multiple VWAPs. Yes. See, thank you, Michael. So think about the dates that I have here. I have beginning of the year, beginning of the quarter or end of previous quarter on the biggest option expiration day, 10 days before the beginning of a new quarter at option expiration day, the biggest one in a quarter. Don't you think that's significant data? Are we trading above those levels? Are we trading below those levels? That's a significant support resistance area. And then important government liberation day. Why are we trading above there or below there? Well, if a stock is trading above that price, then it's telling that, hey, I don't care about liberation day. It's either not relevant to me, or I'm coming out on the upside versus the downside. All these are very, very important. And you haven't seen, and the other one too that I'm not showing you yet is the pinch. The pinch I'll show you in about 5 minutes. We're going to start. Are you still short, Matt?
Yep.
All right. There you go. All right. There you go. I would maybe a little bit more, and I would start taking off. Yeah. See, I'm a backseat trading zone driver. I usually have to catch replays, but your teaching helps so much. I made 435 today in Trading Zone Live. Took my second profit early. See, Tony's listening to me, Matt, but you don't want to listen to me. Tony already took his profit. There you go.
Well, let's
Congratulations.
take it.
Huh?
I said, well, let's just take it then.
You took it?
Yep.
There it is. Finally he takes it. All right. There you go. Congratulations, Tony. Congratulations. Let me repost this. Hold on. Look what I'm going to do, Tony. I just posted it on the main Telegram channel. 6,000 people. Oh, actually, 6,147 people to be exact. All right. So that's the second one. Let me get through this because I want to do the class for you guys today. ELV. But that was a good question, Michael. Now you understand. Now do you understand exactly? Do you understand what I was talking about? Why different times? Because we want to know, are they trading above or below those levels? We don't want to go shorting. We don't want to go shorting a stock. You're welcome. We don't want to go shorting a stock that's trading above VWAPs. We want to anchored VWAPs, and we don't want to, just like we don't want to sell a stock below. They have the same impact as moving averages, and they're just as important. Especially now, you'll see a lot of moron traders create these anchor VWAPs to these like completely binary levels. No, 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 no. You except for the pinch, which we haven't talked about yet, you put them to significant levels, like beginning of the year, beginning of the quarter, or end of previous quarter. You know, quad witching, major global events like trade, like what we did. Richard says, "I love the pinch." I'm going to show them the pinch in a minute. The pinch is great. We use when I taught Richard the pinch. Richard wanted to get out of a trade, and I showed him how to use the pinch, and he stayed in the trade longer, and he was very happy about that and made money. You remember that one, Richard? That was a line pinch. So I'm going to show you guys that in a bit. So let me continue this. Philip Morris. Richard says, "I'll never forget TPR." Yeah. Well, look, this is a guy that's making 200 plus a month, and he's talking about stuff you'll never forget. You should pay attention to what I'm teaching you and what I'm about to teach you. By the way, Matt, congrats on second winner on Trading Zone Live. Very good job there. Good job. All right. Now, okay, look, Philip Morris. You see how we just broke? We're in the process of. You see how we're in the process of breaking the VWAP right here? That's very important. And here's your profit target, Michael. Yep, made it more profitable because of the pinch. I'm going to show them the pinch. So you see this right here? See that? See, Michael, we had support right at this VWAP, anchored VWAP. And by the way, this happens to be the first of the year VWAP. So look at this. You're going to tell me there's a better support than the beginning of the year VWAP and then a profit target of the 200-day moving average? That's an A+ type of trade here. Now, I don't have the rest of the details, but that's the beauty right there. You can watch, here's the YouTube channel. You can watch it later on YouTube. Don't go there right now because you won't see the class. We're going to be cutting off YouTube in a minute, but here's the replay link on YouTube if you want to watch this again. But we're not done yet. We're not going to be done for another hour. So that's a very nice break of a beginning of the year VWAP right there. See, there you go. So now think about it. Quarter, big important date, and Trump news, very important. Like, I would not want to short a stock that's trading above the Liberation Day VWAP right now. You know, Kevin says 12.2% on the SPY trade. Kevin, what about me? What am I, chopped liver? I'm here choreographing and explaining and telling you. Just messing around with you. Matt does a fantastic job for that program. Fantastic job. RLI. All right. Broke the VWAP. Look at how it anchors the VWAP right here. Nice short. You could see below all the anchored VWAPs. The anchored VWAP. And wait till I show you the pinch. I'll show you the pinch in a minute. QFIN. I don't know. I haven't looked at the intraday yet. I haven't looked at volume. Count peanut. Don't try to marry somebody before knowing if they are a man or a woman and if they at least speak your language. We like them from a window, from afar. We have to now get close to them. We have to see if their breath smells good. We haven't done that yet. Okay. All right. Maybe run a credit score. I don't know. Whatever you do when you meet somebody. This is a little overextended. I would wait for a pullback to the 8-day before going short with this stock. Hey, look, I have fun with you guys. Now let's do the longs, okay? Now I want to do the longs. I want to see if there's a pinch here. I think we may be able to find a pinch on one of them or two of them. No, they're all making highs. Let's see if I could find a pinch. Murphy's Law never fails. No, I'll have to. All right, so let me show you a pinch, okay? Pretend that we're right here, okay? Pretend that we're right here. And you want to know, this hasn't happened yet. This is the last bar right here. Or this is the last bar, okay? And you want to know if you should be buying this pullback. You put a VWAP to the last highest high, swing high, and you wait for the price data to get above the VWAP, like it does right here. So if price was right here, you would put a VWAP right there, and you would see if price has come up here. And if price hasn't come up here, then there's plenty of more space to go. And after price comes up here, you've got the next swing being at the high right here. So if I could find an A line right now, I could show it to you. Let's see. Let me go back. But if I do find an A line, I'll show you a pinch. But in the demonstration we're going to have in about half an hour on the slide deck. So let me do the stocks that I like. Dell. Look, if you have any doubts, look how this thing is being used as support. If you have any doubts, look at this. Down to a tick. Look at this. It hit this anchor down to a tick. If you want some real key support and resistance levels, the anchored VWAP is really, really good. 620 was quad witching, right? I told you quad witching. Quad witching is instead of the beginning of the quarter, I use quad witching. I cheat a little bit. I started with that, by the way, and I even showed you where to find the dates for quad witching. Just depends, Joe. Just depends. On, all right, let's see if on fits my criteria. Richard loved this when I showed it to him. So here's on. Yeah, that's a perfect one. So look, thanks, Richard. Right here. So I would set a VWAP right there, and I would buy when we're closing above this price. So Richard had a trade, TPR, and it wasn't above the VWAP yet. It was just kind of above the VWAP. And I said, hey, no. This is not a time to liquidate. This is a time to buy more. So he bought more and he made money and went up. So, but that's what you do. You find the last swing high, okay? And you pinch a VWAP and you wait. That's how you trade A lines, okay? Okay. So that's a good example. And if I find any more here, I'll show you. But Dell, look how well it hits the anchors. Let's try another one. Caterpillar. Not here. It's already above the VWAP. Palantir, let's try it. Let's see if Palantir works. No, Palantir is at a swing high. It would have been right here. Here would have been the swing high, and here's where we would have pinched it. VEEV. I'd rather just give you my stocks because I have a class to do in a few minutes. So I want to give you these stocks. VEEV, Nike. Okay, so let me give you an example on Nike. So here. So you made the swing high here, right? And now you're coming down, 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 down. So look. So the question is, where do we start buying, Roger? Do we buy here, 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 here? Here's what you do. You put an anchor here, and this tells you where to buy, right here. That's the bar to buy right there. That's how you know price is getting to a level where it's meeting the demand of this bar. Okay, Oracle, let's see. Yeah, Oracle is perfect. Let's see. Bingo. There's your answer. I mean, it was already trading above it previously, but there's your answer right there. Largest high swing, the last high swing before the pullback, basically meets your A line. That's actually a perfect example. Do you guys understand? I don't. That answer, Richard Feinberg. That question has already been answered twice. Victor, I told you before you buy some before you marry somebody, find out what their credit score, find out if they have a criminal record, find out if they're really a woman. We haven't done any of that. We're not there yet. Let me continue. EDS. SJ, no, I can't. I'm running out of time. And even if I wasn't running out of time, I still wouldn't do it because I've never used TOS for VWAPs. I've only done it on bar chart and TC2000. But let me ask you a question. How many videos do you think you can find online about a VWAP on Thinkorswim? All right. Okay, so folks, you guys have seen the power. You've seen the power of the anchored VWAP. You've seen just a little taste of it. Now, I'm going to do a presentation right now. And I'm going to do something really cool. This is not going to be one of those long presentations, but it's going to be a juicy one. And I want you to see the power of the anchored VWAP with many examples and all the other stuff. Yeah, TradingView has a very easy VWAP, and TC2000, effortless. But Matt, can you make sure that everybody from YouTube, please move to the Zoom room for another 45 minutes of edumacation. Not education, edumacation. You guys are in the right place. Okay? All right. So, I'll give them another 30 seconds. Let's answer questions while people are moving from the Zoom room, from the YouTube room into the Zoom room. All right. Let's see. I gotta say, I'm being pretty frisky today. Boy, this QQQ is doing nothing. Absolutely doing nothing. By the way, do you guys remember what I told you in the morning show today? The market's going to try to make a high, push you in, make it look like we're going up, and then drift the rest of the day. Anybody from my morning show watch this? Anybody from my morning show watch this? You remember we're going to sucker in a bunch of longs, a bunch of Joes are going to get suckered in this morning, and then we're going to just drift? Don't go crazy on a Monday. I did. Okay. All right. I did. Just want to make sure I said it and you guys listened. No, Naples fan, I was very specific about it. I said we're going to open up way above and we're going to start heading towards the 8-day EMA. I planned on it based on the morning show. Excellent. All right, folks, Matt is going to turn off YouTube in about 30 seconds, and I'm going to start this class. Now, here's the good part, and here's the fun part. And folks, trust me, you want to hear this class. This class will put together all the things that you might have not heard me discuss and explain in the last hour, okay? I highly recommend you pay attention to this. And all the data, those quotes, the hedge fund stuff, I'm going to talk about that here. Please listen and pay attention. Now, everything I'm going to show you is not typical. As you probably know by now, there's nothing typical about me. I'm not going to make any crazy earnings claims. Everything I'm going to show you today actually happened from 9/3/2024 to 7/25, almost a year. We've had a